We are going through an unprecedented release of soul cycles. We are now going from the fifth cycle into the sixth one out of seven. These are the major planetary cycles that we have been going through the beginning since any evolved life has existed on this planet. And so there is lots of release that's happening through our daily lives, even if we are not conscious of it. And I just really felt called to make this impromptu video to talk about those cycles, because there's a message that has been continually coming to me and I want to share it with you today. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sylvia Salow and I help light workers and starseeds to remember who they are, and I help people to step into their potential, to activate their gifts and step into their highest purpose. And I really want to talk about the soul cycles. What is a soul cycle? The soul chooses certain soul lessons to experience through multitudes of lifetimes. We are talking about the lifetimes that took place on Earth, but there are also lifetimes that happened in different dimensions, in different star systems. So when we start tapping into that full picture, we start to see that it's a complicated one, because those soul cycles don't happen linearly as we think about it. It's not like life number 1, then life number 2, life number 3. They also happen interdimensionally. And they really happen in different constellations here, and it's all happening at once. But not to confuse you, just simply the soul chooses to experience certain sets of lessons. Those lessons are going to be mastered over a soul cycle. The soul cycle typically lasts from one golden age of a specific particular planetary cycle into the next golden age of the following planetary golden age. So, for example, as we are right now, the previous golden age happened during the peak of Atlantis. And so during the peak of Atlantis, by that time, your soul seeded certain intentions, certain lessons. Your soul has mastered certain things and maybe didn't master the other things. And all of these intentions and lessons your soul has been living through in that big soul cycle that happens since Atlantis. So what it looks like when I work with my clients one-on-one through my Mystery School of Remembrance, this is what we truly dive into. We are here to understand that soul cycle. So what we see is that the soul, as I mentioned many times, doesn't have like random lifetimes. The soul isn't here to experience everything, as many people say. This is more for the newbie souls, for those who are like old souls. Your soul is here to master specific lessons, let's say around leadership, power, healing, being in communion with other people and supporting the collective. Each soul is unique in this regard. And based on these big intentions, the soul is then like planning those lifetimes within those two golden ages of two different planetary cycles. And what's been happening in the collective, very much so, is that we are now tapping into the lessons that we have mastered or not during the golden age of Atlantis. And what it means is that those things that you seeded during the golden age of Atlantis is now likely playing out in your life in a big way. They're playing out in your relationships, in your purpose. So you may be witnessing that some things are flowing beautifully in your life and some things are just falling apart, no matter how hard you try. You may even notice that there are some very deep, almost like ancient fears coming up for you, things that you believe you have released, and yet they are back. What came to me is the sentence, "The books are open now." And what it means, the soul books of Atlantis are now open and available for the collective. This especially impacts those people who were incarnated during the Golden Age of Atlantis, which from my work I believe to be all the light workers. You were incarnated during that time. That's why you go through that awakening. Like your soul journey just continues something that started previously. And so when the books are opened, it's kind of like the judgment day. And I don't mean this in some kind of scary movie way. I mean this in a way that everything needs to be rebalanced. Everything needs to come back to that neutrality, to that center point. So if there was some kind of imbalance going in one direction, it's going to be balanced through going into the other direction now in your life. So if you see it like beautiful things, it's going to come to you as a support. Maybe now is the time that you are really connecting to your allies, to you make deep friendships and connections with people. Maybe you are finally able to break free through some kind of deep pattern and conditioning that you've been through. And also, if something wasn't mastered, let's say that you ran away from your purpose when it mattered during the Golden Age of Atlantis. Maybe you were supposed to speak about what you saw. Maybe you were supposed to use your gifts more. And you felt like you couldn't. And there was that weakness. And now that weakness is being manifested in your life again. And you are here to make the choice again. And through making the choice, hopefully different than before, you are going to balance the energy that got out of that equilibrium. So you're like a magician weaving everything together, bringing it back to that centered point. And so pay attention to what is playing out in your life now. You are psychic. You can feel energy, you can feel emotions, you can feel many more things. So truly use your psychic abilities to feel into what is that ancient pattern that's playing out in your life now, and what is like that normal daily occurrence. And so when you feel that something is that like long soul cycle that your soul has been almost like trapped in, it's almost like a time loop. You experience it again and again, life and life again, which is, by the way, what I have seen with so many clients. It's truly like the same topics, same themes, same people we are meeting. It's the same. It's different because every time has different frequency and quality of consciousness, but what you are mastering is the same. So if you notice this, be extra mindful. What do you think is required of you at this time? How are you supposed to lead your way? How are you supposed to show up, to step up? How are you called to be visible and use your gifts? What are you supposed to forgive and heal? What are you supposed to balance out? And that may look like perhaps truly like becoming more humble, because maybe you weren't in the Golden Age of Atlantis. You need to really tap deep into your soul records to understand what is asked of you. And you may have that ability that you can read different lifetimes, then it's easier. If you don't have it, follow the energy. Sit in meditation, contemplate those questions. Really try to like almost like energetically and psychically feel out your life to see what is required of you. And listen to your inner voice and your inner guidance about what are those ancient soul cycles that are playing out through your life now and wants to be released, because the books are open. They're completely open now, like 100%. It's happening now. And the reason why it's happening now is because this life right now as we are is very key. It's not key maybe in that kind of way as we would like to hope and wish sometimes. We are the bridge. We are the bridge to that next golden age. But for many people who go through the awakening now at this point in this life, there's that opportunity to release those soul cycles, to balance out things, to master what you haven't mastered, to release your fears, limiting stories, and so on, to grow beyond that conditioning, to align with the design by God. And if it happens successfully, you close that soul cycle. And for the next time around, your soul will get like a clean slate, and you will get a new set of intentions and purposes and lessons to master and learn in the upcoming soul cycle. And you will not have to carry this burden into the next one. But if you don't master some of these things, you will bring it to the next cycle, which is okay. You know, sometimes there's no other way, it just has to happen. You do what you have to do. You do your best and you see it's either enough or not. You cannot do more than your best. So listen to your guidance. It's telling you what are the best steps to release all of it, to master those things. But equally, there's still like stuff clearly that we carry still from the previous cycle, like before the Atlantean ones. So it's that Lemurian cycle, which was the third planetary cycle. I don't see much like happening from those cycles before that. That has been already, the books were open and clear, the judgment day came and it's done. But there's lots of course, like soul cycles people still have from the Lemurian times. And so you may have like two concurrent huge soul cycles to be mastered and cleared out at the same time. And it's a lot of things. And then into your human life is happening. So really be compassionate and gentle with yourself and listen to your guidance. If there is some energy in your life that feels really ancient, if it feels like you've been living in some kind of strange soul cycles, listen to your intuition. You are truly here to remember things. You have a lot more knowledge and wisdom within yourself. You just have to create in your life that kind of environment and get that support where you can tap into it. That's already within you. And all these things that we still have to master, it's almost like an ego from those ancient times. It feels 100% real. It may even feel paralyzing sometimes, depending on what it is. But it's an ego. It's not like an active creation anymore. It's like the vibration that's still like moving in those waves, and you can feel the consequences of it. But it exploded before, not now. So it's truly just an echo from those ancient times. And I really believe that those years we have been through lately are just the clearing years. These are opportunities for us to clear out this old ancient stuff. And once we do it, we will like unlock a next level, like in some kind of computer game. I don't play computer games, but I can imagine, go to the next level and completely new level opens up. You get new magical powers. There may be different creatures you meet and so on. This is the next level. And since 2012, we have been suspended in this kind of like holographic experience. We literally live with the full manifestations of our own paradigms to a big degree. There's of course that collective reality we all contribute to, and it's impacting all of us. But on top of it, there is also that holographic experience that is just like supposed to help you to play out and interact consciously and more actively with your ancient fears, and help you also to master the things you are here to master and step into your purpose more consciously. It's all happening at once. So truly allow yourself to see what's happening and what's required of you. Listen to your intuition more than anything. Because if you listen purely to the logic and to the mind. It's very valuable, but it's not going to have all the answers for you. Your heart is ancient. It knows. It knows your past, it knows your future, it knows everything. So really listen to the heart, listen to your inner guidance. You know deep down what you have to do. You started this cycle in Atlantis or in Lemuria. Some of you have started those cycles in other constellations. You were the creator of it. You designed it all. And now you live in that game. You play that game. You are within it. And you need to remember. You need to wake up and remember truly. And start using your own gifts. This will help you to get out of that sleep. And that sleep can even happen after your awakening. You can be still sleeping and dreaming. You are inside of that game that you have designed. Remember. Remember what's required of you. And pay attention to which soul cycles are playing out in your life. As I said, the books are open. The judgment day is here. It's not in that apocalyptic way. I don't mean it like that. It's just plus and minus, light and dark. It needs to be neutralized. It needs to be balanced. It's basically the foundation of karma. You know, here we see that something not so good. Here we need to balance it out by something positive so it can come to the neutral space. And this process is happening now. And it's getting like into higher and higher frequency and potency every year. And it started in 2012. Some of you felt it, some of you joined the game later, some of you been in that game earlier, but it was started in that year. And since then, we do also have this holographic experience where everything is being manifested for us in our own personal fields with more potency. We entered the time of instant karma, so there can be that quick balancing. You perhaps know it, like you do something, you act out of your integrity, and the consequence is immediately there. On the other hand, you act from your heart, and there is a reward immediately there. It happens instantly now. Balancing out. We don't want to create more karma that we would bring into the upcoming planetary cycle. We are here to finish the ancient soul cycles and close the books. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please help me support my channel so those messages get to more and more people. And if you know someone, a friend, a family member, or anyone who would benefit from this information, please share my video, share this message with other people. We do this together. Thank you so much and see you next time.